Okay, hello. I am SerSanju. I am back now. Hopefully for good this time. I'm not like leaving during my run. I'm gonna do inFAMOUS 2. You'll notice that I'm playing in German. It's just because I don't want certain like words that are said in English to be in the game, in the run, because very like hard language. But other than that, it's faster. It's also interesting because you'll see why it's faster in like halfway through the run. So that's also why I want to do it. But yeah.
And I guess I'll introduce myself. I am Mixbad. I am new. I was not here for the inFAMOUS 1 playthrough, but yeah, I'm here for the inFAMOUS 2 one.
Yeah, he's gonna be like doing like a lot of the commentary in certain missions, just because some of the missions require like extra focus. But
this game has a lot of times where you need to just buckle down and focus, and it's not really like a time where you can really talk, but it is. It's possible to just have somebody else explain it a lot of the times.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm ready to start whenever you guys are.
Yeah, we're ready. If you just want to count down, we'll start whenever.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go.
Now I'm running on a bit of a delay for because I'm looking at the stream.
Yeah, I can't do Discord. So, that's my problem.
Yeah. So you're still on the main screen for me. So I'm assuming you're on the bridge right now.
Yeah. I already started. Yeah.
So for everybody that was watching that the inFAMOUS 1 run, you're definitely going to immediately notice that there's a major difference between the last game and this game, and one of the biggest differences is motion capture that was added in this game, and that actually does make a huge difference in terms of gameplay in certain aspects, because Cole does completely different animations for certain moves. And in this opening mission, your standard bolt is completely changed out with rockets. And for rockets, Cole will do this wind-up animation where he's going to pull his arm back and he's going to thrust it forward to shoot the rocket. But if you have, if you're in midair or if you're climbing on something, he will do his inFAMOUS 1 animation, which is a lot faster and allows you to spam rockets out way faster. So you can see him jumping and shooting the beast constantly during this bit. And after he gets picked up by the beast and goes back onto the ground, immediately afterwards, that section he's going to have to be on the ground specifically for to move on to the next thing. So you're going to be able to see what that animation looks like and why it's a lot slower. Yeah, I'm pulling that up right now. Yeah. So, yeah, you can see that animation where he's pulling himself back constantly. And another major thing that was added in this game is you can skip the cutscenes now. That is something I actually didn't even know until today that was not actually in inFAMOUS 1 at all.
Yep. And, we should probably mention the current patch stuff and then old patch stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there's... so what we're playing on right now is what's called Old Patch, which essentially means that you're playing directly off of the disk without any updates enabled. So you can actually downgrade to Old Patch just by deleting the game data in the PS3 folder. And what the current patch adds is a message that pops up where it says the beast is this many miles away from Numeray. And that's going to show up anytime you skip a cutscene. And it is very long, very annoying, and there are a lot of points where we would just watch the cutscenes because it was faster than skipping them. But now we have this, which is... But with Old Patch, that skips that entirely. However, there is a drawback to that, and we don't actually get access to the mission creator, which, if I'm sure a lot of people will remember, is something that could let you teleport across the map really fast, casually, but we make up for that, and you'll see why later on. Also, I really hope that nobody got super attached to the city we just spent the last 3 hours in, because yeah, it's gone. It's just gone now.
It is gone. We're in Numeray now. No more Empire.
And it's not just we're away from it. It's just it's burned to the ground now.
Yep.
So right now he's jumping up here. You're gonna get a slight tutorial for healing yourself. So if he doesn't have any, so even if you're have the slightest bit of health missing, you're gonna get that dialogue where you have to charge up there. But if you are at completely full health, you won't have to do it at all. So another thing here is you're gonna get another tutorial for saving civilians or healing civilians, but you can actually skip that if you can get in and out of the trigger to start that cutscene before a phone call ends. So, yep, it seems like he did it.
Well, actually, the thing that makes it not play is getting using the infamous one thing where you get the powers before. If you don't get the powers beforehand, where I did, like the karmic thing, the karmic boost, I should say, right? Something like that. You don't get that. The cutscene doesn't play. It plays. It will play.
So right there, you had to take out a boat that is blocking our boat from entering into the city. One thing you can do is actually shoot the propane tank a little bit early, and then the pathway is going to open up just right about as you get there. But right now, for the rest of the mission, it's basically just kind of a straight shot and just getting into the city as fast as you can. And also, I don't know if we already mentioned this, but we're playing in German because German is a much faster language for this game. It was a lot of testing with a lot of different languages.
Yep. It is, I believe, I don't know exactly from the top of my head, but I think it's 7 or 8 languages that I tested.
Yeah.
Well, Dutch is the fastest, but German came up second.
Yeah, and it has an easier audio cue for the one section that needs like very heavy audio cues.
Yeah, and then the other reason why I wanted to like show off the language difference is because of the actual thing that happens when you play in a different language, because there is like dialogue skip that you won't really see it. If you are like, I don't know, if you always play the game in the same language, you don't notice it.
I'm assuming you're talking about right after Storm the Fort?
Yeah, exactly that
one. We'll so yeah. I need to gush for a minute just about how good this tutorial is. It's weird to get really to kind of gush over a tutorial, but it seriously is really good because it doesn't feel like it's sitting you down and teaching you the moves. You don't have to do the things it's telling you to do, but you probably should because it is a lot faster to do things the way it tells you to do. So like where it's giving you a grenade tutorial and teaching you about destructible environments that were added in this game, and like how to move things out of your way to get things out of the way of the NPC. So right here is actually where, well, actually coming up in just a second is going to be where the start of the benefits of Old Patch are going to be showing, because if you have played the game on current patch, in about 2 cutscene skips is where the beast message will still be popping up every time you skip a cutscene.
How I love Infamous 2 RPGs.
Oh man, there is a very big difference between 1 and 2 RPGs.
That would have killed me in Infamous 1, but in this game, one guy decided to jump off, by the way. I don't know if you saw that, but he did. There was one guy in the roof, and he just fell and died. That's something. This mission has gone perfect so far.
Yeah, no, you're making good work on this mission right now.
Yes. This usually doesn't go this well, by the way. So yeah. Continue.
No, this mission for me screws up a lot and it's not necessarily because of mostly it's just because I'm bad at aiming with the grenades, and I always miss like one enemy, and then I just run forward. I'm like, okay, it's early enough that's just a reset. So there's going to be a trick right here that was actually found by a Let's Player because he swapped his skins right at this particular moment, and it skipped a cutscene and put you right in front of the next mission. So because we don't have skins available to us because we're on old patch. We just drop a car on ourselves because we're about to get a new power that was added in this game, Kinetic Pulse. You're gonna see it right now.
Oh, he didn't die. Oh my god.
Oh god, yeah, that can happen sometimes. He can be a little finicky.
Yeah, there you go. Car warp. And now we are here.
That's not going to be too prevalent in this game. There's a couple times where it's used, but it's not going to be like something we're doing quite a lot. There's a lot less death warping in this game compared to Infamous 1.
Yeah.
So right now is a little bit of a thing that may or may not happen.
Yep, it did happen.
Oh, you got it. Okay. So if you do really well during that first mission, it will automatically change the difficulty of the game. But if you're fast enough on starting up the mission, it can actually just not pop up with that message at all. It's kind of, well, for me at least, it's pretty much a coin flip's chance of happening.
Yeah, in this game, you can't do the same thing that we do in Infamous 1, where you do a death warp at the start of the run to prevent the game from changing the difficulty. But in this game, you die, the game still thinks you did very well.
It's because you're dying right after the mission ends and it doesn't count.
Also, little damage kits.
Yeah, that's going to be a tech that we're going to be seeing a lot in Festival of Blood, which is basically throwing a grenade right before an action is supposed to happen to break out of the animation. And that is pretty much a bread and butter technique of Festival of Blood.
You'll be waiting here.
Yeah, we're just waiting on phone calls right now. And we get introduced to blast shards in this game, which are not actually all too useful in the run. They're useful.
Really.
They're useful to get more of, but the thing is that the amount of power that each power consumes, it actually scales depending on how much you have. It does legitimately make a difference. You will have more if you pick up more blast shards, but it doesn't make it that much of a difference.
It would be good for like ice launches, but like grenades, you use a lot of grenades. It doesn't matter if you have like one or two more. You need like the whole thing for it to matter. So not a good thing. Like for like 100% runs where we get all of the blast shards in one go with a mission, like it comes in handy really well. But for any percent, not really. I end up always getting one upgrade.
Yeah.
But that's it.
The 100%. There's actually two versions of 100%. One of them that allows for UGC and one of them that doesn't. And it is hilarious on the one that allows for UGC because there is a mission that you can just open up that automatically pre-collects every single blast shard in the game for you.
Yeah, it's not like there's plenty of missions because a lot of people made them, right? And they have like different routes or whatever. But it's essentially just, you have to collect 305 blast shards. But the mission has 305 cutscenes where the blast shards are. So pretty much you go through every cutscene and you collect every blast shard.
I actually opened up the editor for that mission. And I decreased the time in between the cutscenes to make it faster, and that was it took me a long time to do that, and I realized I probably shouldn't do that because there's certain points in that mission where it will just fail you outright.
Yep.
And because it requires so much processing power that it literally will overload the PS3.
Yeah.
So when I decreased the times, it got very scary.
So we should mention, like, the mission before was a tutorial. This is a tutorial. Like all of the missions up until here, up until after this one is, actually after evolution, after the next one.
Yeah, I'd say mission like the tutorials end with Bertrand takes the stage. So are you going good or evil here?
Good,
you're going good. Okay,
it's good as fastest. Yeah, because you want to grab the power lines. If you were doing current patch, I think evil is faster because GEC. But still, it's more beneficial to use the route with a GEC, by the way, in current patch because of the enemy spawn. If you use GEC to teleport, enemies don't spawn.
GDC? Sorry, I'm blanking on that. Sorry, I apologize.
UGC, the mission, user-generated content.
Oh, UGC. Sorry. I apologize. I have a few hearing issues. I am so sorry about that.
Yeah, don't worry. I won't be too. I hope I don't like sound like mad or whatever sometimes, because I do feel like I do sometimes, and I might like sound like weird that I talk like that, but it's not like I'm not really like I'm not trying to like be like
So right here for this next bit, to complete the mission, you need to capture an enemy, which is semi a tutorial. This actually is a tutorial of touch powers, because on the good mission you have to bio-leech somebody. So you don't have to fight the enemies, you just have to lock one down and then just start running to the next mission.
He teleported off the ground.
Wait, did he teleport away?
Yeah, and he died. They do that.
No, I'm not going to say. You know what? No, I will say it, because I know somebody out there has to be playing a drinking game. I've never seen that before. I just saw it on the. I have both the quicker stream and the full stream up, and I just saw it happen on the stream.
Yeah, he just teleported down and he just died. That's so good. That is so good. Like, it happened.
That mini cutscene there is like really annoying, because it just teleports you to the ground wherever you are, which is like, if you're on a power line, it just now you have to climb back up the power line again.
Okay, so there are three things that can happen now. I can get enemies to spawn, or I can get enemies not to spawn, or I can get some enemies to spawn. I want all of them to spawn, but if I can get like at least the other two to spawn, then actually more enemies could spawn. But and I got them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you did. So in this mission, the goal is basically to. It's a tutorial on how to unlock new powers. So the first power you're going to be unlocking is just you unlock it by killing 6 enemies and taking them out, which is very good if you get enemies that are right by the mission start, because otherwise the missions that it spawns for the specific mission are very, very far away, and also you have to go through a cutscene, like a mini cutscene tutorial. And also, this power that you unlock is the second most useless power in the game.
Yep. You don't use it to run.
However, at the end of this mission, you're going to see him essentially trying to immediately start farming for the worst power in the game, the most useless power in the game, because there's a power in the game known as Detonation Blast. It basically takes that shockwave that you have and it turns it into a small bomb, and that bomb, you have to shoot it in order to make it go off, and it does no damage.
I got the best RNG you can get.
Oh, is it? Are they on the building?
Yep.
Nice. So
4 or 5.
Detonation Blast is ultimately useless, but there was a member of our community known as Magnet Sphere who was very much determined that it had some kind of value to it. And like Galileo trying to prove he wasn't crazy, Magnet kept at it, and he was right, but you will see why very soon.
Okay, Zeit für ein Treffen mit Bertrand.
Anyway, we're about to start up Bertrand Takes the Stage, which is...
You're gonna see a strat in this mission that you probably never thought of, but it's actually possible. I mean, some of you might actually have thought of it when you played through the game.
I think a lot of people will have thought of the old version of the trick where you cut the corner.
But this one's also like easy to think of, because it's like, can I just like jump on the car?
Because there's failure barriers everywhere. We're gonna go a little bit off the intended path a bit here, but if you go even too
something
far,
interesting. That cutscene is like in 2 parts. So like the first part you can't skip, but the second one you can. It's kind of weird. Oh, I killed 3. Oh my god, the 3 combo.
You got 3 in 1. Oh jeez. So that's what the main goal here is, because swamp monsters are very resistant to your powers other than melee attacks, so you really want to use melee as much as possible. So now we have to chase after Bertrand's limo. You can jump on the limo early. Now, the old version of the trick we did was going up and cutting the first corner and thunder dropping directly onto the back of his limo. But now you can just go off the path and his limo won't start until you cross a certain point, and you can just jump right onto the back of it and skip the entire mission. Because that entire mission you have to wait while he's going around the entire thing.
Okay.
While he's going around the entire city.
Yep. Like the idea is they thought of it, so they actually put a fail wall of 6 seconds instead of like the usual 10 seconds. But of course, they didn't think of the fact that you can actually like get close to the limo again, and then you don't fail.
So this next mission, let's just be honest, it's a reskinned side mission before they realized, oh, we're just gonna have this mechanic be not a side mission and have it be like like just a random thing that can appear in the world, which is getting blast shards out of explosives that are put around the world, and they turned this into a story mission. And immediately afterwards, he's going to drop a car on himself because it's another one of those warps that will skip a cutscene and also warp you to somewhere you want to be.
I got the thing where the bomb just explodes. I usually always get it, but like there's like a specific like path you have to take.
And it is a free blast shard and also free good karma, which good karma is not as it's very important to grind up karma in this game, but it's not as important as 2 or as 1. I mean, because in 1 we got karma got maxed out to the point where karmic overload was used during the final boss fight, but in 2 we're only going to be getting to rank 2. We are not making it all the way to hero rank.
It is so hard to get it to hero rank. It is incredibly hard in this game. Karma is like farming karma in this game is so bad. It takes so long.
And speaking of karma, I'm gonna wait until I'm gonna wait for a minute to start talking about it, but there's some things that some keen-eyed among you may have realized already, and we're gonna have to talk about that in a minute.
Also, by the way, there's a thing coming up. There's a joke that like some of you might recognize, which is the penal code joke. In German, it doesn't have the same ring to it, so I don't think they could find a pun that worked. So he just says the word in German, and it doesn't like make a like a penal code thing, because it's what's it, Strafgesetzbuch or something like that. Yeah, Strafgesetzbuch.
I know that there's like some. I didn't actually know that about. I never thought about that with 2. I did know that in like First Light, there's a joke where they make a pun by saying like Tex ass, and then that it does not translate at all to any other languages, even though they just basically translate it word for word.
Yeah, in this game, like the penal code one in Spanish, Italian, French, and I think Portuguese. I think that's the languages that have like the actual good joke, and then like the other languages, they couldn't really find something.
So, thankfully, this is our only chase mission in this game, our only tailing mission. I actually don't remember. I know we just saw the run, but with 1, I think there were not 2. There were a lot more side missions where you had to tail people rather than main missions. So, what you're seeing right now is pushing the enemies into the canal. Actually helps with 2 things. 1, it's faster to kill them that way, and also it allows for environmental kills to unlock sticky grenades, which I believe you just bought, right?
Yep, I got both. I got the detonation blast and the grenade. So
yeah, so detonation blast, you'll see it has some functionality that is.
What are you? Oh my god!
Absolutely unintended by the developers.
What are you doing? Oh, he's here. Is he just taking it? Yeah, he's just taking it. Cool.
Oh, jeez. He can be a pain to deal with at points.
Yep, he can be moving around the whole thing and never die. Like,
yeah,
he's lost. I mean, I've lost many runs to this mission, many runs, and it's only like 20 minutes in. Like,
he's not as bad as his big brother though, and we'll see his big brother later.
Also, one thing that I should mention. You'll see me do it a lot. This game has a function that's really good, which is the quick quick power menu select.
Yeah,
it's such a good thing. You pretty much just press left on the D-pad, and it opens this menu, and it's it's so good for changing between the blasts and everything.
So this is the one of the 2 vehicle protection missions in this game. There were a couple of them in Infamous 1, and as you saw, they're very difficult in Infamous 1, but they toned things down significantly in 2. They're not like complete and total cakewalks on higher difficulties, but they're at least like, manageable, especially when you're, not being swarmed by like 15 people all like trying to shoot RPGs at a bus.
So one of the good things about this mission is that it lets you kill a lot of enemies, and we mentioned that gaining karma is really bad in this game. We need to have a specific karmic change happen in a mission. So we need it right there, and if it doesn't happen, you lose a lot of time because you don't get to buy new powers, and yeah, it's really bad. So I need to kill a lot of enemies from here on and save people. I won't really save people. I will do some... If I get good RNG, there's one mission where I can get another bomb and a kidnapping. If I get both, like I typically only get like the kidnapping, but if I get both, well,
you're talking about right after Nyx is introduced, right? Just
yeah. Where you get the vortex.
One of the main things about this game is trying to maximize the value of your stuff while phone calls are happening, because there's a lot of times in this game where you're kind of just sitting and having to babysit a phone call. Also, it's giving me a lot of stress that enemy landed on the truck, because I've had a few too many runs where I try and start throwing grenades, I press square a little bit too early, and he melees the enemy on the truck and falls off.
Same, yeah. I mean, what I've done sometimes is, for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to try and use the R1 circle thing, and what happens is cold stays in the air, and the truck moves.
Yeah, if that ever happens, I usually just use a standard cold on him, just so that cold doesn't try and melee him at any point.
Yeah, I usually always use a blast. I didn't do it this time, but I usually always use a blast and he just falls off. But... Okay, so this thing that appears in here, this beast thing, it would happen every time you skip a cutscene.
And it would be the full screen. They would have like this giant title text and everything. And
instead of being like 5 seconds like it was now, it would be 15 seconds every time you do it. 15 seconds.
So old patch, and it adds up so much to the point where it saved about 15 minutes, because it wasn't just like, it was every single cutscene, whether or not we skipped it, because there were certain cutscenes that we would have to sit through and watch because they were shorter than skipping them.
Also, Detonation Blast.
Unfortunately, in Festival of Blood, you're gonna see in Festival of Blood that we don't have an old patch for it, so those messages are going to show up when we get to that run.
Okay, so you look.
Oh, geez, is this the first detonation blast?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
I got a really bad one, but you get the idea.
Yeah, if you I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. You saw how well it worked there. You will see the power of it later in this run. It's an incredibly easy trick to do, but incredibly difficult to control properly.
I won't do the one in this mission because I can fail massively, but I will do ones after this mission. A lot.
One of my favorite things to do is just to wait for random people to start streaming Infamous 2. Go into their chat and then teach them how to do the detonation blast launch, and just seeing the looks on their faces as they're like, this power's useless, how does it do this?
What's a good time for this game? My PB is at 228, so a good time for this game is around the 240s, like something like that. I mean, my PB is like, the record's good, but like a good time, it doesn't really necessarily mean it's the record. So yeah, around the 235, 245, that range.
Yeah, my PB is not quite that.
I mean, your PB is 245, right? Or
yeah, because it was before. I just haven't had too much time to run the game, so I didn't it was before Detonation Blast was really fully added. Like it was added. I still use it in the runs, but they weren't like fully added.
Yeah, the launches added. I think.
Hold on.
2 to 3
Hold on one
minutes.
sec. I want to talk about this here. This cutscene, skipping it actually will interrupt. This cutscene introduces an enemy. Skipping the cutscene, he will still do his wind-up animation, which means he's completely vulnerable, and you can kill him before he even gets a single shot off.
Also, in current patch, you don't want to skip any of these cutscenes because they're like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Like,
yeah, but then old patch, that adds so much value because not only... Oh, what?
No!
Oh, no. Oh, no.
The worst thing that could happen is happening.
Oh, he slapped you right into the water.
Yeah, and then they exploded. There's a specific type of enemy that is very scary. I don't like them. They get me stressed. The green
the
ones.
gas bags?
Those guys, yeah.
Yeah, no, the gas bags they're like the suicide bombers from 1. They're the only type of enemy. It's like every enemy faction does not have a suicide bomber, unlike 1. It's only the swamp monsters, but they don't telegraph themselves very much. Like, because you have that screeching in Infamous 1 that lets you know that they're on their way. Infamous 2, you don't. So they will just run up to you and just explode.
Well, I mean, you hear, like, if you're behind you, you hear, like, this breathing noise. And it's so, like, for me, it's so bad. Like, you hear it. And it's just, like, for me, it's just chills, you know, like... Every time I'm doing runs, like, it gets me so stressed out because I know what can happen.
We just got introduced to Nyx.
Yep.
Who is?
We actually didn't. We just see her. But yeah, this is Nyx. She is our new sidekick alongside Kuo and Sick. She has tar powers. Is it tar?
I think it's oil.
Oil? Yeah, oil. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something like that. I mean, I always call it tar or like petrol or something. But.
Yeah, it's...
Oh my god.
She's basically the... Quo and Nyx were added in this game to basically be the good or evil, like, kind of individual sidekick-ish characters for both the good and evil paths. And I really like both of the characters. I love every single character in this game. Like, it is... The writing in this game is so good.
Yeah, it is. These games are really good, and this game in particular, like, it just holds a special place in my heart.
It's my favorite game of all time.
All games do, but like, I mean, Infamous 1 and 2 are like so good. Festival of Blood is, I mean, I have the same, like, you know, like for games that I speedrun, Bioshock 2 has one of the DLCs that's like one of the best DLCs of all time, and it's the same with Festival of Blood. Like, if you want to run like a short and sweet game, go for Festival of Blood. It's fast-paced. It has a lot of cool strats. And Bioshock 2 has the same thing. Bioshock 2 has a DLC that's like the best thing ever. Like, the speedrun is amazing.
And Festival of Blood, the speedrun is actually fairly easy to learn. Like, because when we were organizing this event, because I'm going to be doing the Festival of Blood run right after this, when we were organizing this event, I had actually not done the Festival of Blood speedrun before, so I was learning it entirely because we were setting this event up, and it was fairly easy for me to learn, and it's a lot of fun, honestly. It's a really cool run. Unfortunately, despite the fact that they added a skip cutscene button to this game, not every cutscene is skippable.
Mr. Sexy. German.
Wait, does he say that in German?
Yes, it says Mr. Sexy.
It pretty much any time this cutscene and one other Nyx cutscene are kind of the only 2 cutscenes that don't follow the typical pattern of cutscenes that can't be skipped. Most of the cutscenes that can't be skipped are either you have to make a choice for the next story mission,
yep,
or you are gaining a new blast core. There's only 2 blast. So what's happening in the story is basically the Beast is an enemy that the main villain of the last game was warned that was coming. At the beginning of this game, he showed up and blew up the city from the last game. So we're down here trying to get more powerful while he's on his way down to New Marais. And the only way to get more powerful is to get these things called blast cores. And anytime you get a new one, the cutscene is unskippable except for 2 of them. One of them I don't mind being skippable. The other one I kind of wish it was unskippable because it is the best cutscene in the game.
By the way, I'm pretty sure I saw the kidnapping happening before I enter this mission, so there might be a chance I have the good RNG and I can show it off. Yeah, pretty much we get a new blast core in here, new power.
There's a funny Easter egg during this cutscene. After Cole's waking up, Zeke is going to be reading a book, and he's going to close the book and put it away. If you look very, very, very closely at that book, it's the Thievius Raccoonus from Sly Cooper.
Oh yeah, nice.
It's such a good thing.
I mean, he has things to point out. He has the slime mask.
Yeah, Cole has the slime mask on the backpack. And then this game has a lot of... The area that we're in right now has a lot of reference jokes.
Yep.
Because they have an adult theater, and they change other game names to be very adult-oriented, to say the least. And we just unlocked a new power, and this is one of the coolest additions.
But there's a second one, so it doesn't matter. I need one of these at least. So
the ionic vortex. It's basically the same thing as the storm, calling down the lightning storm from the beginning of from Infamous 1, but they rebalanced it to take a different resource than your standard lightning. And now that we have that, you're going to be able to see the power of this new move pretty much almost instantly in this next mission. It's really cool. Did a bomb spawn?
Yeah, I did. Whenever you get like kidnapping, one of the 2 guys will always give you a charge. So, the bomb is always gonna be there, but I don't have time to get there. I'm back. The bomb's always you can get a kidnapping in front of that bomb.
This cutscene was the one where he has the Thievius Raccoonus, not the one where he's waking up.
Yeah. This one.
But this is introduces a new feature of this game. It was sort of in Infamous 1, but it only existed for side missions. Infamous 2 added story missions that completely change based on whether you're good or evil. And so we're going to be doing the good mission for this one.
Exactly. There's gonna be all good missions except for one in the game.
Yeah, and we'll explain why it's faster when we get there, but we'll explain why we're doing it when we start our first powering up mission.
Yeah, exactly. But after this cutscene, you're hopefully gonna get to see Detonation Blast in action. Hopefully.
Oh yeah,
The issue is that box that I used first is the same thing that I'm gonna use now. Those boxes have the worst hitbox for this.
It is It's much easier when you have like a pallet or a bigger box, but you can do it with any destructible object. So what basically happens is that when Detonation Blast, if you put it on the ground and you jump up, it gives you about like a 5-foot jump. It's not very useful at all, but if it breaks a breakable object that you're standing on, the game gets very confused and it just gives you a ton of heightened speed.
There you go. Well, it wasn't that good.
Whoa, okay, that's pretty good.
It wasn't the perfect one, but it was good. Like,
if you do
you can get literally like to the mission with that one, by the way.
You can go between islands with this if you do it right.
Yep.
Like you can go from one end of the island pretty much almost all the way across the map.
Yeah, right. I need to wait. You can go all the way across the map and like you can get like a lot of momentum out of that. We need another here.
So right now we're just waiting. We've got a parade of enemies, and we're just waiting for a certain moment, and for them to all be lined up. And that vortex takes all of them out with one button press. I'm gonna be honest, I've played this game a lot. I still don't know how exactly the evil version of this mission works.
The evil version. Oh yeah, it's the train bomb thing. Yeah, I think it's busted though. I think it doesn't work properly because sometimes you just fail it and you shouldn't. Like you're supposed to be charging it, but if you charge it too much, it explodes. But sometimes you don't charge it and it explodes anyway. So I don't know. Weird.
And it just discharges, so you keep charging it, and then it's very confusing. But right now, basically what happened in an earlier cutscene is Quo got kidnapped when at the end of that mission where we were on the truck. So right now we're just trying to find her, and we found her, and we're gonna go save her.
Großen Kanon.
This is one of the old. This mission is one of the few where even if you're playing on easy, your metal's kind of tested a bit because it is. You're basically just having to run to objectives while 15 enemies are shooting you all at once, and you kind of just gotta gun for it.
Okay. He used the RPG before I got there, which is what I wanted.
Because that gets the guy off the mortar, right?
No, it's because if I don't get there if I get there before, he will kill me. The guy was actually off the mortar before. Sometimes I usually just use the blast and that's it, but. Okay, I'm gonna take these doors off there because I don't want them in my way. And I'm gonna try to get a vortex first because I need one.
This is really...
Okay.
This is really funny here. You can push Quo. Oh, nice.
That was so
good. That is nice.
That was so good for the first part and it just went...
Yeah, no, it is... He made that look easy. That is not easy to do. To get that, to get her to move that smoothly.
Yeah, it's really hard. Usually, what I do is I push her to a wall, and then you can just do it super easily. But
so I'm seeing a question in the chat about what difficulty we're running on. We're running on easy because it doesn't really change the game all too much, but it makes it. It allows you to basically just tank more stuff.
So if you saw when I was doing the mission with Nyx that I killed some civilians, and then I didn't get a bomb that I wanted to get a bomb to get karma. I didn't get a karmic change right now because of that. I usually get it. I'm gonna get it during the mission in the first relay, so it doesn't matter.
You either get it right now or you get it like in the. So these missions are basically the replacement for the sewer missions. They're going to be basically just defend this thing as we throw a bunch of enemies at you. There's not going to be too much to talk about in terms of speedrunning because they're... I don't want to use the term auto-scroller, but they're kind of auto-scrollers.
Yeah.
So one thing we should probably talk about is Karmic Boost.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about that one? Or...
Well, do you mean like the karmic change thing? Or...
Yeah, or no, okay, well then I guess I'll...
how you do it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that a few people probably noticed right at the very beginning of the game.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah,
when you get a choice of a new game, you also get the choice to use your Infamous 1 save data and get bonuses at the very beginning. You get a little bit of extra experience, you get 2 more blips on your lightning meter, or your 2 more battery cores, that's what they're called.
Yeah.
And the most important one to us is you get extra karma depending on which one choice you make.
Yeah, and it also depends on your save file, by the way. You don't have the 100% save file, you don't get all of it. But you at least get the karma, so...
Yeah, and it was like kind of a back and forth for a while on whether or not that was going to be allowed, and we eventually, for like a couple months, and we eventually decided...
I always used it. So it was gonna be a thing. It was gonna be a thing of so I'll have to like change my strength, I guess. But yeah, whatever.
Because
really.
like it was a little bit like back and forth, mainly because do you really want to make people play a different game before this? But we allowed it because it makes the run way more fun. Because before this, good karma was needed enough to the point where any percent and any percent all good karma were exactly the same. And the one mission we really do not want to do is Hearts and Minds campaign. You have to go through this really long and tedious vehicle protection mission that drives around the entire city. It puts you to the it puts you nowhere near the next mission, and instead we're going to be doing the evil version of that mission, which is a lot faster. If people are wondering, the reason why we're playing Good Karma is because the final mission is way faster on Good Karma, and also
Powers are better.
yeah,
Period.
I know I have a friend who I get into heated arguments with about. He very much believes that the evil powers are better. I'm like, you are insane.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but Firebird Strike is the worst thing that could have happened to the game. And then napalm grenades have nothing on ice grenades. Yeah. Nothing.
The powers are basically like with grenades. Level 1 grenades, I will actually give it to evil because double grenade is way better than sticky grenade because it's explode on contact rather than having to wait for a fuse. So if you are doing evil karma runs, it is like a very nice benefit very early on. But with level 2 grenades, ice grenades versus napalm grenades, I think napalm grenades do a little bit more damage, but ice grenades have the chance of insta-killing the enemy and just freezing them, which gives you good karma and also insta-kills the enemy. As for the other powers, we're actually not going to be getting any of the bolt upgrades other than Pincer, and that was given to us at the beginning of the game.
Oh god, I went the complete wrong way. Never mind.
Wait, what? Oh god. Oh no.
Yeah, it pulled me all the way. I'm gonna just die because I think it's gonna be better.
Yeah,
I've never had that happen like that. It's weird.
And other powers.
Why are you going this way? Go. This is weird.
Why is he going off to?
He's going the complete wrong way. I don't know. I don't understand this game anymore. That's your work, by the way. He should be going back. I don't really understand why he's not going back. I'm gonna do it again because why not? But
like we said, this trick is very easy to pull off. It is incredibly difficult to control.
I don't know why he's going this way. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I actually got to a good place now because I was really far away anyway before, and with the turrets on my way, I couldn't get there fast anyway.
So
basically, what I was trying to just go all the way across, but I don't know why the lineup wasn't working. I guess it just really depends on like your positioning, but I have no idea. I'll have to figure that out.
So we had the joke of Cole McGrab in Infamous 1, which is still going to continue to be a joke in this. I'm wondering, can we make a joke out of that somehow? Cole McWrong direction?
Yeah. he's going the McWrong direction. Dude, nice. But yeah, from here on, most of the launches are going to be pretty consistent.
Because like I think that the reason that one screwed up is maybe because there were multiple breakable objects like right next to each other, and they were kind of haphazardly stacked on each other, and it gets a little bit confused. The launches are very consistent, but they're so precise that they feel inconsistent.
Also, something I didn't mention before. You see how there was a pallet right there, and it exploded. Every time I skip cutscenes, everything respawns. So that's why I'm gonna be skipping this now, and there's gonna be a pallet in here, and I changed the detonation blast, and we yeet ourselves through the map like that.
And this next mission is everybody's favorite video game trope. It is an escort mission. But we can skip the first part of it by just death warping, because the checkpoint is actually set farther in the mission than where you actually are, because they don't expect you to die here. So if you just take a quick death, you will skip the entire first part of the mission after you complete the first little objective.
Also, not damaging her. What? Also, killing enemies? What's that? What's killing enemies? I don't know what that is. So I'm just gonna run.
So the
oh god.
yeah. So the enemies basically all try and aggro Cole during this mission. And they don't really go after your escortee, thank God. But she still can get tripped up and not really want to follow you sometimes. Jeez, you are not kidding. This got way faster. You said that new things were found since I last played, and that is so much faster than how I remember it, because the way that the old way of doing it was you basically have to just stay within 5 feet of her at all times.
Sarah.
But if you, yeah.
Don't get stuck, Sarah. Oh my god, he got stuck. You see how I tried to push her? I did it, but like the game was like, nah, she's not gonna move.
She isn't on a set path like Quo was, so you can't. So she does actually react to Cole pushing her.
Also, Sarah is like, she's not there, by the way. The enemies don't even see her. Oh my god. But she can get scared, by the way. Oh my god. I was waiting for her to start talking. Okay, cool.
So now we have the Devourer. He is a very easy enemy casually. In a speedrun sense, he's a bit of a pain because even though we have sticky grenades and we get him in his...
There you go.
If we put him directly in his mouth, it doesn't... That went really well.
That went like perfect. Usually I have to throw a car at least.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he closes his mouth, even if he has sticky grenades inside his mouth, it won't matter and he'll just... and he will just shrug off all damage. Which is one of the main reasons why Double Grenade is such a godsend early game. Because it's explode on contact and it does a ton of damage right off the bat. And as soon as that grenade hits, it immediately blows up.
Oh, so, the launch after this mission is so bad. I hope I get something out of it, but I don't think I'm gonna get anything out of it because it's one of the hard ones. It's also one of those where there's 2 pallets stacked on each other, so it's like...
Oh, okay, I needed a minute to remember what the skip was, because yeah, no, this one is a nightmare.
If you get this one, it looks so good because you get it straight to the rooftop. But
it is one of the coolest looking ones, absolutely.
Yeah, there's this one. There's the one after Explosion Bertrand. That one's really cool too. That one's like the best one. Like you get it straight to the mission.
Ali is in the chat and just said, "The cemetery looks familiar." Oh God, I have some words about this cemetery that you will hear in Festival of Blood.
Hell yeah!
Es ist ein Bauernzapfen.
Okay, hopefully she will do the thing that she needs to do.
Yeah.
No, she didn't do it. The second guy, she didn't actually like.
Oh wait, what? I'm not gonna say it. Nope, I'm not. I'm not gonna say it this time.
Yeah, okay. Alpha explosion. We used to think, because the game tells you to use kinetic balls, but you don't have to use kinetic balls.
You can just blast that.
Yeah.
I'm learning stuff today too.
Yeah, these caps are actually like you can
That
explode
is so
them.
much faster.
The way I found out about it is that I threw a grenade and they moved, and I was like, wait, what? And then I tried.
Because the game just prompts you to use kinetic pulse. It never tells you can do that.
Yep. And with this one, it's like free because like you just threw it, you just like shoot a blast and like all of them open, and it's like okay, cool.
All right, we're about to be introduced to the worst enemy in the game. There is no contest, like no enemy is worse than this one. It is known as the Hive Lord. We saw the Ravager earlier. It's going to look very similar. He has a few more attacks, but those new attacks aren't the problem. His AI is different, and that's what the problem is. He likes to go underground a lot. And we only have to fight 2 of them, and luckily one of them we're sort of able to skip later in the run, but this one, the first one, we're not able to.
In before I don't get any of the skips. By the way, the skips in this game are not like very consistent. So
yeah, if the skip in the if the second skip doesn't happen, you're gonna have to go back and fight him though.
Is he taking it?
He kind of took it. That wasn't bad on the first. Okay.
Please, please.
He can leave the. He can just straight up leave the cemetery. Jeez.
And I try
he can
to
go down in 5 seconds if you're lucky enough, but it is very rare that that happens.
There we go. He can go to hell. I didn't want to grab power because grabbing power is like super slow in this area. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for a certain queue here. It's just whenever I see coach, I can do it. If you go too fast, you won't disappear. And
yeah, I've had that happen. It's a bit. It's like it's really upsetting when that happens because like it's basically it's a soft lock. You have to reload your save and to get it to go through.
Okay, it worked.
Oh, that's a nice launch.
Now you can see exactly what we mean by you can go through the map, and we don't even have the thrusters upgraded. When we have them upgraded, it's
which
really
we're speaking of which, we're about to get the upgraded static thrusters, which are the best movement ability in this game. They allow you to gain height by using your static thrusters, and also control it way better. Like you're able to like straight up just turn around in midair.
Hey, sag mal, würdest du hier bleiben, während ich dieses Ding zünde?
And then the next mission after this is Stories of the Past, and I'm assuming, are you going to be doing the death warp at the beginning?
Which one?
The one on the boat.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Faster. Yeah. Anything that I know to be faster, I'm doing. Except for some launches that I don't remember. Or don't, I mean, some of them are new, like there's one after this mission to get the Story of the Past. It would save like half a second, but
it's kind of not even worth it because like
the problem is you can't fall into the water, so I don't want to do it.
Yeah, and the power line it brings you there. It brings you there right as the mission's showing up. So.
Yep, that's pretty much the whole thing. That's why I don't like. Okay, I got a car here.
Oh wait, you go this way? I always go towards the fort and then just immediately get on the power line because it brings you directly to the mission. So we also got the sniper shot from the which is returning from Infamous 1. That's the only time you're going to see it in this run. I don't think we ever use it at any other point.
Nah, I don't use it because it's too slow. It actually uses power as you use it, which is really bad. So nah. You see, the launch weren't even save time, so it's like whatever. Why would you do it? Okay, hopefully I'll get this shot here.
Yeah, so what he's going to be doing here is he's going to try and run to the end of the pier. The trigger to start up the next part of the mission is just making sure, and it checks to see if you've defeated the enemies by seeing if there's no enemies on this pier here. So if you can make sure that all the enemies are gone from the pier, you can just immediately move on to the next part of the mission, which is really annoying if they decide to walk onto the pier from the back. And when Nick starts speaking, it means that it went successfully. So
yep.
Now we have to ride the boat.
I got a 5 combo, so it was guaranteed. Sometimes they don't, like maybe you get like 3 with the vortex sometimes. I don't know, it's just like whatever pattern they want to use.
I always go for the safety strat there is basically just to go to the end of the pier and throw the vortex from the back of the pier. But that is slower, but it's safer. So right when Nyx calls is when he's going to take a death abuse. And that will actually set off every trigger needed to start off the next part of the mission, and we can just run past every single enemy and just gun it straight for the end.
Let's pass this tree. You get past that tree, C-Tox, and then you spawn here. Oh god, I was looking the wrong way. Why?
Oh, whoa, what?
He was looking the wrong way. I don't understand.
And then we come up on the one of the One of my favorite skips in the run because we don't have to deal with the other Hive Lord that we would have to. We can complete 2 tasks within very short proximity to each other, and the game will get confused, and it will think that we've completed a mission when completed an objective when we haven't actually done that. I'm assuming you took that death abuse to pull the boat up.
For the boat,
yeah.
For the boat, yeah. That's for the boat. Also, do you see that launch with the enemy? That's like sort of new. I never really usually get those, but if you like if you get like pushed by an enemy while you're like starting to like use the thrusters, you get like launched in the air.
So the hive, we call it SHL for Swamp Hive Lord. It's what we need to do is we need to hit the trigger that says we have seen this part of the map, and hit the trigger that we have activated this fight, all before the boat reaches a certain point. And then it will, the game will get confused, and the boat won't stop, and it'll keep going. And as the Hive Lord follows us, because the boat keeps moving, the Hive Lord will actually out of bounds itself and instantly be knocked out. And it will move on to the next part of the mission.
No vortex. That's weird. Okay, I'll have to get one in full in the rebels, but it's okay.
Are the ionic charges more rare on swamp monsters? Because I feel like
the boat,
they are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. You usually get one on the pier. But...
All right, so he just hit the house, which is the first trigger, and then the second trigger is activating the start of the fight, which he has now done. So now getting back onto the boat before the boat actually reaches the point where it's supposed to stop. And now the boat will just keep moving forward. And as soon as the Hive Lord out of bounds itself, we'll be able to move on to the next part of the mission.
Is he doing it?
You basically just have to wait for
cool.
Okay, it worked? All right, cool.
He did it a bit later than usual, but yes, he did.
All right. I didn't want to say anything because I did not want to jinx it. You can soft lock. You can absolutely soft lock there. It is one of the most annoying things to happen because he can just not out of bounds himself. And that means that you get to the end of the mission, the boat is at the very end of the mission, the dialogue does not play, and you're just stuck there with a Hive Lord that you cannot kill because it's like 100 feet away from you. You cannot reach it. The only thing you can do is just either reload, abandon the mission and restart, or just take a death right there and do the fight.
Yeah, and the fight is really bad. It's such a bad fight.
It is so much worse than the cemetery.
Yep. So much worse. Like he moves a lot. There's like nothing to like get power from. There's 2 things to get power from.
There's two generators, but the Hive Lord can knock the generators into the water.
As a by the way, funny thing, if you soft lock, you can just ride the boat to the end of the mission and like nothing happens. It's such a funny thing to see. Like you touch the tree at the end and the boat just stops moving and there's nothing. And you can see the enemy following you. Like it's just. It's
so right now we're coming up on the second choice choice cutscene, which is where we're going to be doing an evil mission, and why we got that karmic boost right at the beginning. I actually do like the good mission, but it is so much slower, and it puts you like the entire halfway across the map from the start of the next mission.
If any of you are wondering why I didn't like go faster and I just rode a car, it's because Nyx needs to disappear, and if you go too fast, it never does. So the mission never ends. Like if you go too far, like the thing is usually you should just be there, like because he's talking to you and you're supposed to be there, and he disappears.
To answer a question in the chat, are we going to see the best cutscene in the game? That is entirely up to
which is the cutscene that you think is the best?
Easygoing.
Yeah, no.
Easygoing.
I mean, I know it's easygoing, but like which one is the one who who asked in the chat? What is your best cutscene? Is it easygoing as well?
Oh yeah, no, that's a friend of mine. I know that he means easygoing.
Okay. I mean, I could make it happen if people want to see it.
Easygoing is the one of only 2 Blast Core cutscenes that can be skipped, and it is so upsetting that it can be skipped because it means that we kind of have to skip it.
Yep, it is the best cutscene in the game. It's such a good cutscene. Like,
And it's so good that you don't even need to be playing in a language you understand for it to be amazing.
no, there's no dialogue. Good one. It's a good, really good cutscene.
Alle Medikamente.
Dann geben wir die Anlauf.
Dude, are we gonna get the Medikamente?
Milizpatrouillen. Vielleicht für die euch zum Verstecken.
I don't think so.
Die will ich sehen.
Komm mit.
Perfekt.
Nicht schlecht, cool.
Genial, Leute, das wird funktionieren. Was? Medizin verteilen?
Please turn off your caps lock. That's just it's Mick's friend. He only did it for that for the cutscene, but
Wie stellen wir den Schaden?
it's fine.
Naja,
It's this.
an wie einen von den Miliz.
What am I trying to say here?
Du willst ein Massaker?
Nenn's, wie du
It's
willst.
interesting in the story for the good versus evil bits here that the evil is actually more effective, like a lot more effective in terms of the story. Like they both achieve the same result, but the evil version is so much more effective because it's like, yes, we want to do this more than we need to because you just screwed us over. Because in the end of the good mission, you accidentally screw over all of the rebels, and you only really have the option. They only really have the option to join you to
Great.
take on the fort.
Great.
Nix
ich hab den guten
von
one.
hinten los. Das weißt du. Wenn du die Hilfe der Rebellen willst, brauchst du ihren Respekt. Willst du ihren Respekt?
So, the gameplay does change entirely here. This is actually the only time in any of the PS3 Infamous games
That taxi
where
had
you're
no
not.
driver, by the way.
Wait, what?
That taxi had no driver.
No, but
Like sometimes the cars don't have drivers. They usually do, but
the game takes place in the future.
yep.
But this is one of the only. This is,
Oh
I
my
think,
God, are
the
you
only
serious?
time in the entire PS3, out of any of the PS3 Infamous games, where you don't play as Cole. Oh wait, I was
What?
wrong. Yeah, we do see precision here. I think you have to destroy the other one first, don't you?
No. No, you don't. I'm just not hitting it somehow. What? I might be just aiming at the wrong spot. It's something that I do a lot.
I always go for the other one first, because like the objective here is just shoot
There
2
you
things and break them.
Yeah, but I want the second one. I exactly want it to be the second for 2 reasons. One of them is I want to kill this. Oh, I was gonna kill the big guy for the vortex, but I got the vortex anyway.
Miliz gefunden. Denn ich wäre bereit.
I need a vortex for
Yeah, the
after
second
this.
part for the third part of this mission, because this is the first part. The second part is a turret section that is very, very consistent. Enemies are all like they pretty much are predetermined where they're gonna go, but it's like a lot of them, so it's a little bit hard to remember where they all are at points.
And sometimes they don't die. Yes,
Yeah, it's-
animation.
Yeah, it's really weird. Also, this turret does not exist anywhere else in the game. Like every other turret is like a machine gun. This is like a rocket turret. It's the only one that exists in the entire game. And you don't ever get to fight it. You don't go up against it ever. It's only useful to you.
Yep.
And and again, as I said, it's like this is the only time you're not playing as Cole because you're actually playing as Nyx right now, who's manning the turret.
Even that.
Da werden sie sauer.
And now in this last phase, you don't need to kill all of them. The game kind of like updates whenever it wants.
As soon as you get a phone call is when it like lets you know that okay you're ready to go to the next part of the mission.
Okay, jetzt reicht.
So-
Überlass mir das Geschütz und du schaltest es ab.
What will I get enemies like stranded somewhere, or will I not get them?
So
Nope.
basically what's happening in this mission is we're basically putting on a show for the rebels, basically trying to make them very angry and then coming in to save the day and pretending to come in and save the day by like destroying the turret that we were just using to shoot them all down.
I want
So
a
in this
vortex out of
mission,
this.
you want to end this mission with a vortex, because the next mission is, I want to say the next mission is the halfway point in the run, pretty much, and it's the craziest mission.
Are you joking?
Are you? What is happening?
The car was stuck and I couldn't get in. What? That's weird shit. And I get a... Okay, I got a second vortex here.
Okay, so does that mean you're just going to launch it up?
Yeah, there you go. This enemy almost flew all the way.
Yeah.
He almost flew like all the way out. Nope. Great.
All right.
Hearing a
And-
Creole accent, speaking German is really something. Yeah.
So, so if we were doing the good mission, we'd be ending right by Zeke's roof, about.
Yep.
And but for this mission, we're ending right here, and this is going to be the start of the next mission, which is Storm the Fort. It has 3 parts to it. And the second part is okay, so because we did the evil mission, we're actually back down to Guardian rank. We will get back up to the champion rank in the end of the next mission. And we absolutely need it because we need level 2 good karma in order to use ice launch, which is very, very useful.
Makes sense.
So this part of the mission is... Oh, wait, hold on. Are you just going to use the vortex here?
Yep.
Okay. I usually always forget to have a vortex at this point, and like the backup strat for this bit here is essentially just hope that Quo is able to be an effective meat shield. And just go if you don't have the vortex to take everybody out right there.
Will I get the dialogue skip here?
Let's see. So what happens
Doesn't
next is
like
they
it.
try and cut the power from the military base, so we have to repower it up. Except they don't cut the power, and you could still charge from anything, any bit of electricity in the base.
Not as good as being a flaming bird. Oh yeah. The classic discussion: is Ice Launch better or is Firebird Strike?
I would absolutely say Firebird Strike would be better if you didn't lose momentum at the end. Like if you could just get up high, use it, and then just like slingshot yourself across the sky with like static thrusters, it would easily be better than Ice Launch. But it doesn't, and you just drop all momentum at the very end of it.
Oh my god, really? That happened?
Oh no! Okay, it took a second for me to be able to see it, but no, that's oh no.
That is something. That is really something. Oh my god. In Infamous 1, I would be dead right now, by the way. The enemy's hitting you while you do something like this. It's always bad.
I have died while firing a rocket before. I don't think in this mission specifically, but definitely in powering up gasworks, because
Yeah.
if there's a chance that enemies, you don't
the
even
last
see
one.
them. They just
Oh
don't.
my god, no. Gold, why?
Oh no, you got the mortar. Yeah, even though the mortar's gone, it can just say, "Hey, we're gonna try and destroy it right now," even though it's already destroyed.
Yeah, it's because you destroy it with the rocket and the game's like, wait, you destroyed it? No, you didn't. So it's supposed to be there, but it's not. And yeah, things happen.
So now
It's-
part 3 of this mission is a lot less crazy than the other parts. It's you just have to go through and you have to destroy 3 mortars.
What are you trying? What are you trying? Okay, there we go. I wanted to be a little bit safe just in case, so I just grabbed some more health. Yeehaw! These guys, they say yeehaw a lot.
And then we get the opportunity to swap powers with Quo or Nyx in this next cutscene.
Mann, werde ich froh sein, wenn das Ding abfackelt.
What? I actually have not seen that spawn in. Like I've never been right there before the cutscene. I didn't know it just spawned in and just
Yeah.
launches you a little bit. That's funny.
Yeah, it spawns in like immediately, and you know, like because the whole like mission is about finding this, right? And then they find it and they take it outside, but it just teleports outside. It's so such a funny thing to have.
Nimm eine von
So what this device is, it basically allows conduits to swap power, to like give powers from one to another.
Yep.
And that's basically their written explanation for why enemies can have the same powers, and every other like superpowered character has completely different powers. And it's also was used on Quo a lot, and we're gonna be seeing enemies with her powers for pretty much the entire second half of the game, and they are very, very annoying.
No, you're gonna see why in German in just a second. Any language other than English has a specific dialogue skip. The audio cue thing is it doesn't really matter. Like the thing is, I'm not used to Dutch, which is the fastest, so I don't really know the audio cue for that mission specifically. There's one mission specifically where I need an audio cue. And German for me is better because I've run the game in German a lot, but yeah, the thing is it skips the dialogue playing in any other language, and then it is slightly faster as well. If it weren't for the dialogue skip though, English would be faster, but...
Yeah, this it would be a cutscene right after... It would be playing a second cutscene after this cutscene ends in the, if it were English, but in... Or, no, it's not a... Wait. I need to be reminded. It's been a while, so I need to be reminded the specifics in a second.
Which specifics?
Like whether it's a cutscene or if it's just Zeke running up.
It's just Zeke running, yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, right here, it shows that saying Quo and Zeke ran after Bertrand, but if you're playing on English, Zeke will run up, and then Cole and Zeke will talk for a while, and then you're gonna get the ability to have a new power. So we just moved on to champion rank again, which means that right after this mission's done, we're gonna be unlocking a lot of powers, and we're gonna be just buying pretty much our loadout for the entire rest of the game. I don't think we buy any other powers, do we?
No, we don't.
Yeah. We do gain more powers, like, just through the story, but as far as buying powers, we're done. This is one of my favorite launches in the game, if it goes well. Oh, did it go bad? Oh.
Okay. It didn't go off, but then, yeah. Even if you don't jump, it still goes off. There you go. It wasn't, like, the perfect one, but it was very good.
That was really nice.
Also, by the way, just as a heads up, after this mission, I am good to do like a break.
You've been making really good moves in this run.
Yeah, very good. I'm like really, really good. I mean, I would be behind my PB by like 2 minutes, I think, because I did die once. My PB doesn't have like accidental deaths, but it is a really good run. Anyway, it's just really good.
So this fight is a little bit weird because he's rampaging throughout the city, but the way that it checks for him to do certain attacks is basically either by a timer and your proximity to him. So if you try and stay behind him as he's rampaging through the city, he will actually attack faster and allow for you to get an attack in on him. But if you go behind him, everything's going to be destroyed and you can't really charge up as much. So it's kind of like a get ahead of him, charge up, and then get behind him as fast as you can. No. Oh, yeah. That breath attack can really be annoying.
Oh, no.
Oh, you didn't destroy it. Oh, no.
I never actually get it in one, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get it in one because you don't have enough energy. If you are no. If you are close to him and you throw grenades, you can. But I never remember about it. I just never remember about it.
Because it's a random which attack he does, and if you're not prepared for the breath attack, it's really devastating because he just goes very far away from him. Oh, nice! You got both of them at once.
I don't think I got the one cycle.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't get the dialogue. You get a dialogue when you get it.
Yeah, when you had the chest, you can break both of them at once, which he did. Okay, you did.
There you go.
Oh my god, I thought you died there. I legitimately thought the car killed you.
Also, by the way, I didn't do the chest. I was like one hit away.
Oh, you have to still get the chest now?
Yep. There you go. Now he opens only one side. Oh, he opened both sides. Okay.
Was ist, Großer? War's das?
What's
Yeah, I
this
think
also?
he only opens up he opens up both if he's adding if he's spawning enemies, but then if he's only doing like the tentacle attack, he only opens up one side.
Okay, so we're like midway to the run now.
Bertrand ist in Floodtown. Du willst sicher
This is exactly midway because we get to do Flood Town and Gasworks afterwards.
Yep.
Hey, hab gehört, du willst Floodtown wieder ans Netz bringen.
So do you want to take the break or no?
Yeah, I could do it now. Yeah, for sure.
Zwei Fliegen mit einer Klappe, was? Oh, heute wird
Because this mission is, I mean, it doesn't matter if I like stop in between because it's just this.
Yeah.
It's just the mission.
This is your courtesy reminder to fire the missile.
Yeah.
We talked about it a lot. A lot yesterday. Personally, at least for me personally, I've made the mistake a few more times than I care to admit, where you press the button to lower the drawbridge, and then you need to press the button again to fire the missile. I've lowered the drawbridge and then just made a beeline directly for the next generator without actually firing the missile.
This time I didn't forget. Actually, if you like press R1 too fast, after that you can actually fire another Tesla rocket.
What you
Very
can.
funny. Yeah, you can. It's very funny because you can't get it anywhere, but you can.
So, pretty much, I think we when we talked yesterday about like planning out what we were gonna say for this, like we kind of said that these missions don't really have too much to talk about, so we were gonna kind of maybe get some questions from people who are watching and anything we like trying to answer some things there.
Yeah.
So if anybody has
this-
any questions, let us know.
But wait, this is the Bermact, and they are like,
Yeah.
they are certainly one faction in the game. They are annoying.
They are the most deadly enemies in the game. This faction, they can just be really, really annoying enemies to deal with because they jump around. They have their own version of ice launch, and if they decide to do that, they will be invincible while doing it for a very short amount of time. And it's the most annoying thing when you're trying to like take them out and they're one hit away from being taken out, and then they do the ice launch and then you have to chase them down again.
This game easy to learn from speedrunning. Very easy.
Yeah, I think it's the only really, really difficult thing that's like kind of a barrier to entry is using detonation blast.
Yeah.
But even that, it's like you don't necessarily need it if you're starting out. If you just want to get in and play a nice speed game, like because this was the first game that I have ever speedrun. Because like I'm just a big fan of the inFAMOUS series, and it was really easy to get in and start learning it.
Yeah, it is. Like for me, this was one of my first ever speedruns. I did my first run while blind. Well, not blind. You know, I had played the game, but I didn't route anything. I just did a run. Actually, I did hard mode and I did evil karma. Because at the time I just wanted to do something, and I just did that. And it was a 5.5 hour run, I believe. So.
Favorite Cole costume? You want to take that one first?
Kessler, probably. I mean,
I think I'm impartial to the Sly Cane.
I mean, yeah, the Sly Cane is very good. I mean, it's either the Sly Cane or Kessler.
Apparently, it was there was some like behind the scenes stuff or some like development stuff that was recently found, and it was originally that you could you can mix and match weapons and skins, which you can't do that in the final version of the game, where you could do so you could be Kessler with the Sly Cane.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. It would be so much fun, to be fair. But
Sie suchen was.
Second Son's issue is just the story. Well, the main character is the issue. The story
Yeah,
is fine if it weren't for the main character being how he is.
I don't
if
like.
you-
Yeah, Second Son story. Like I don't like Delson. I don't like really any of the characters
No
other than
one-
Fetch and Augustine.
No one likes Delson. Delson is the worst main character in any game. Like there's no question about it. He's
And-
really bad.
I know that I shouldn't dock the game too much for it, but the fact that it retcons the ending of 2 is really, really annoying to me.
Yeah.
I like the gameplay of it. The gameplay of it's pretty good. I definitely prefer First Light compared to
First Light
Second
is so
Son?
much better. So
It-
much better.
It was okay. So I didn't have a PS4 originally, but my friend did, and he had First Light, and he let me play through the game on his PS4. I had not seen any of Second Son because I was waiting to play it for myself, but I played First Light, and then I went, okay, I really like this. All of my fears about Second Son are just gone now. And then I played Second Son. I'm like, oh, all my fears should have stayed where they were.
So yeah, do you guys want to do the break now? Because I'm up for it.
Yeah, we can do a break if you want.
Okay, so because after this, there's only like it's the halfway point right now, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So are you going to do the end of this mission or no?
Yeah. I just finished the mission, and I am in
right.
Dumber Beam. Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
So on these longer runs, we like to do quick wellness breaks in between, just so everybody can get up, get some water, make sure they're doing everything they need to do to be, stay healthy. So we are going to take a quick few-minute break here. We are going to have everything I just said, and then we'll be back with more Infamous 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Infamous Community Relay. We are in the middle of Infamous 2, and I will just kick it over to the runner and the commentary, and they can take it away whenever.
Okay, so welcome back to Infamous 2. This is Dumber Beam. It is, a very straightforward mission. So you're just gonna see when you play the game, you know. You use the Dumber Beam, and you kill enemies, and that's it.
I'm excited to see this just because like I know that from the last time that I did a run, it's a few things have been found that change, I believe, or unless I'm confusing that with another mission.
There is one thing at the end that is different, but that's it.
Yeah. So it's this is pretty much just another turret mission. It takes a bit, but it's really cool. Like casually, this is probably one of the best missions in the game, just because of like the sheer scale of and the amount of experience that you just gain just from this mission alone, from the amount of enemies you just take out like immediately. And like the Ravagers, the first boss fight that you have, it just takes them out in like 2 seconds.
I got the bad thing. Okay.
Oh, okay. It took a second to load up for me to see what you meant, but yeah, no, that can happen if you move a little bit too fast and get off the light just the slightest bit too early before the enemy is like officially declared dead. It will play that ending animation, and you can't really do anything.
I mean, I always do the same, so I don't really understand why it happens, but yeah, it makes sense. You know, one thing about like the current patch, they patched like the experience stuff, so like you don't really get that much experience from this mission.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Oh, you don't? That was only. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they patched it because in GDQ you could like cheat your way through the powers, like getting all the XP required with GDQ missions. So
It's funny you say that because a few days ago I was on. I went to the infamous subreddit, and somebody was just. It was hilarious because somebody just had a mission where it was like 10,000 enemies, and they had like this counter of takedowns that was just ridiculously high, and they gained a ton of experience. And then you go into the comments, it's like, yeah, I didn't retain any of that experience at all. I'm really upset right now because I spent like an hour grinding those enemies.
Yep, you don't get any of the XP anymore in current patch because of that, which is very sad.
It's sad, but it makes sense. Like,
I mean, it makes sense because, like, I mean, the problem is one of the trophies just gets to be like almost impossible. Buying everything is like so fucking bad. Getting points, getting XP in this game. Oh no! Like,
the thing is. Yeah. No, the thing is, that was the last trophy I got before I got the platinum for this game. You don't need to do it on a single playthrough. I thought you needed to do it in a single playthrough, have all the powers, because...
you have to do it in both, yeah.
And I had played the game many times, and it was one singular power that I just never bought that kept me from getting the platinum. Just take a wild guess what power it was.
So this is the change that I made to this mission. It's the only thing.
Oh. Okay.
Whenever you kill the first few enemies, you don't wait for the sirens, you just like go back. Because you don't have to do anything else. As long as the star is gone off the map, we're good. The enemies that I wanted to spawn didn't spawn there. They're spawning now. Okay, whatever.
So at the end of this mission, what's going to happen is there's going to be a few ice guys, a new version of the ice guys that's going to come in and start helping you take out
the conduit version of the guys.
Yeah, I think the official name for them is the Ice Heavies. There they are. You can see the tower they're making. And in a cutscene that is going to be skipped, there's going to be two enemies, one on the left and one on the right. The one on the right is supposed to come down and start talking to Zeke and LaRoche at the... and once that's skipped, he still has to go through that animation slightly. So Sanju's going to be focusing his attention on the enemy on the left. Oh, you got him in the water. Nice. Which means that's an instant kill for the enemy on the left. That's completely random whether or not that happens. And there you go. That was really good. They can be.
I got 2 charges too.
I saw that.
That's so good.
Those 2 can be absolute pains to deal with.
Yep. Because when they're making towers, they are invincible. We talked about that earlier, and it's so bad. It is so bad.
Okay, burning wells. This is probably the most boring mission in the game. I'm not going to lie, just because you have to you have this one cap, and you have to put out the fire for 4 wells.
Oh my god!
No,
did I really
okay.
just do that?
Oh no,
that should not happen. I aimed a bit further up. Oh my god! Now a bit further down. Am I being like? I'm just gonna use the cap the way you're supposed to be used.
Yeah. So there's 3 after this first one. There's 3 more wells around the map, and they are in completely different locations. They are nowhere near each other, and so you kind of have to play a little bit of like which one am I going to go for, but it's not the hardest decision because to go for this one first, because immediately afterwards you can take a death abuse and move the cap back to the midpoint, which saves a bit of time. And doing the other ones you can do in a bit of a line that leads closer to where the start of the next mission is.
Also, you wonder why I don't do it during the cutscene is because you can't, like before the cutscene. So
now this is probably one of my favorite enemies in the game for the speedrun, and there's a specific reason for that. We're going to see a lot of them. We never have to fight him once, ever. We legitimately, there's never a single time where you are required to fight him.
The game tells you to kill him, by the way, but if you
just cap the well.
If you death warp, the game's like, oh, never mind.
Now he's despawned.
Yep. Okay. Now this one.
Before, like you don't have to kill him. You can actually just go grab the cap and just keep moving on to the next ones. But it's better to death warp because it moves the cap back to the midpoint of the map.
Yep. That's pretty much the whole thing.
And this cap, despite the texture making it look metallic, I believe it's made out of pure rubber because this cap likes to bounce a lot. It is a really finicky thing to work with, as you've very clearly seen already. It does not like going where you want it to go. So we got the second cap here.
Let's go, and now for the third one.
Now the third one's the biggest pain to deal with because it's kind of in like an enclosed space that with like buildings all around it. So it's kind of like there's walls that you don't like because the other ones are pretty much out in the open. This one is very enclosed and you have to get it into a very small space, which you can get to just by like dropping it from above, but that's very difficult to aim at points.
Okay, I think I got a good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got it right next to it.
Yeah, very good.
Nice. That is a lot easier said than done.
There we go. Cool. Sometimes the cat likes to like fly away. That's why it's so bad, because it bounces off everything.
And now we've got 2 missions that are just cutscenes that you can't skip.
So if you have like any questions, just ask them now.
Yeah, this would be a really good time. These are probably some of the longest cutscenes in the game.
They are both. This is 3 minutes, and then the other one is about like 2 minutes or something, or a minute and a half maybe.
Because again, you can't skip cutscenes that are blast core powering up, and cutscenes where it's introducing a split path on which mission you can take. So you have to sit through them, and we've got 2 of them back to back.
He could pick up the rubber thing with kinetic pulse because it's not really like, he's not really like charging electricity to it. It's just like. Why is the game in German? The game is in German because any language other than English skips a dialogue in one of the missions that I already did. And then it's also like overall faster.
because there's a lot of times where you're waiting for those phone calls to happen. And one thing that I really wish, like, because I think it actually legitimately would have been faster is something like Korean or Japanese. But the thing about the reason why those two were pretty much excluded from being compared at all is because those versions are only available on current patch, which is really upsetting.
Yeah, and also getting a Korean copy of the game is very hard to get right now. So
I have a copy of the game from pretty much every region in the world except for like Korea and Australia. And the reason I don't have it from Australia is just because I don't need it.
Korea is really hard to get. There's like not even like digitally you can't, and then like getting a disc version is so hard to find. The Japanese version is pretty easy to find.
It's also like
It's funny because like the Japanese version has some slight changes that they made to colors and some stuff.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool version of the game. It's mainly the lightning that got changed because there's a lot more. Yeah, it's a lot more fearful of.
It's a lot more like anti-Caesar. That's pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah, and it looks because it still has all the same effects of the lightning, except the lightning just doesn't light up. It still is there, and it's a really weird effect to see, but it can pretty much be described as you're shooting asterisks at people, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
But another thing that's interesting about the game, about pretty much every version of the game, is every version includes the English dialogue on it. The way that you get other languages is by switching the language of your PlayStation system and have a copy of the game from that region. So if you have a copy of the game from, say, North America, you can get either English, French, or Mexican Spanish. And I make that distinction.
It's Latin American Spanish,
I make that distinction because there are separate dubs for Mexican Spanish and also
Spanish.
European Spanish. Yeah. Which you've said
with the PAL version, what you actually do is you change the system language, so the whole console language.
I made a mistake
because the Spanish version only has English and French, I believe.
Yeah, I made the mistake of buying a UK copy of the game by mistake because I thought it was from a different region. The UK copy pretty much only has English on it, which when I was trying to get things like Dutch and Polish to be available, but so I think I got my copy for that from the Netherlands, I believe.
The password to the club to the club, yeah. The fucking what was the password again?
Don't shoot my ass.
Don't shoot my ass, yeah. Don't shoot my ass.
That was I love that. I love the back and forth between Cole and Zeke in this game. It's so well done. It's like it's like pulls a gun out. It's like, whoa, password to the clubhouse. Oh man, I love these guys.
So this cutscene, like, it's
it goes on a while. This cutscene's pretty good in English. It's but the choice makes very little sense. I'm gonna be honest with this one specifically.
Well, I only have the PAL version and the Japanese version, but the PAL version has like it has English, or the PAL 5, which is English, Spanish, Italian, German, French, and then it has Portuguese, it has Polish, it has Dutch, and it has Japanese.
Wait, it has Japanese in the EU version?
No. And then I have the Japanese one, and there's a Korean, and there's a Chinese version.
Yeah, but again, those are all locked to current patch. Because
it also has Russian. Yeah, that's the one I forgot.
The game actually got a very different age rating in Japan. It's actually this game is an 18+ game, which I guess makes sense to a degree. So it was like I think that's the reason why it's only on current patch, because that actually got a little bit later because of like dealing with what's called age restrictions. All right, so this launch is really useful because it gets you there. It gets you to the start of the mission very fast, but you need to make sure that you get outside of the train yard and then go into it from the outside, because otherwise, if you just jump directly into the train yard, it actually won't count you as going into the correct place.
It's also very new. By the way, I never did it in a run. This is the first time actually doing it in a run.
Yeah, I was about to say, because like I usually remember the other run that you basically go into Gasworks, but you stay on like the very edge of the canal, and then you use the box on the side of the building. But that actually seemed like a lot more consistent.
I'm gonna see if I can show off something. You see how these photographs work? Well, they don't really work that well. See if I can show it off.
I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm curious as well.
Like, you just look at that. Like, is the guy in the picture? Is he not? I mean, the game thinks he is, but I mean, you're supposed to take the picture of all of them that are inside, but the game's like, oh yeah, you're taking a picture for sure. Yeah. You can also take a picture of like nothing in here, and it will count. It's just so good.
Mach den aus, bitte, Thomas.
Also, this is super fast in current patch, but not in old patch.
Yeah,
Cool, du hattest recht.
Yeah, this is something that was definitely patched. Like it. Okay, it happened. Okay, I didn't want to say anything, because I didn't want to jinx it. But yeah, you can soft lock there again. I no idea what causes it. It just happens sometimes. But you can only soft lock on old patch.
Not links, of course. The game doesn't actually mean to the left. It means actually like most of the time it's like move to the left, but like most of the time it's like actually move to the right, not to the left, even though the game says left. It's weird. It's a weird like thing. You never use it again, and well, you use it in secondary missions, but
there's a little Easter egg during that cutscene that we skipped there, where I don't know, it's definitely not this for other languages, or you know what, it actually might be, but I don't know, where there's a guy screaming as Bertrand is turning him into a swamp monster, and Bertrand shouts out, "Don't give up, Nate," because the person who did the voice for the guy screaming was Nate Fox, one of like the heads at Sucker Punch, one of the lead designers of the game. So that was just like a funny little Easter egg they put in.
Hello there, Waffles. I see you there in the chat. Hope you're doing okay. Hope everyone's doing okay at this time if you're from Europe, because it's kind of late.
Wonder why they didn't make the language dubbing an in-game option. Yeah, that would have been a good thing to include, but it kind of makes sense, because like if you're dealing with like a physical copy of the game, only certain languages are very prevalent in certain parts of the world, so that's generally how like most games worked in with physical releases.
Oh my god, not
because you only have a limited amount of space on that disc.
There you go, he died.
Okay, that was a little scary for a second there.
Yeah, he can kill you instantly, by the way, if he gets you inside his mod. The game doesn't really like it that much. So.
And also, you can see there's a giant contrast between the sticky grenades and the ice grenades now, seeing the Devour before we got them and after we got them. Because the ice grenades, because they explode on contact, they do a ton of damage, and they have a chance for an insta-kill on human-sized enemies. They're great. So we're taking a death warp here because it makes the mission end faster, it skips some dialogue, and it puts us a little bit closer to the next mission. This is pretty much one of the only... I'm assuming you found a launch for this. But
of course.
this is one of the only places where on current patch we absolutely would want to be using the mission creator for, because of just the insane amount of distance that we need to travel. I've not seen this launch, so I'm excited to see it.
It's one of the best in the game, and it's really consistent. It's 100% consistent. This one never
Oh
fails.
my god! Oh my god, dude!
Yep.
That's insane. You're right there.
Yeah. It gets into the mission instantly. It's amazing.
Wir die gegen die Bestie.
And yeah, now we just have a nuke.
Wir werden die ganze Stadt
Yep.
zerstören.
Now we just have a nuke.
We're not
Yeah.
There's no explanation. We just have a nuke now.
Hafenkräne eingestellt. Wir müssen nur noch die Rakete aufstellen.
Ich mag große Explosionen.
So this is
Ich auch, Mann.
what I think, speedrun wise, the second worst mission in the game.
Das ist er.
Wir haben noch Zeit.
And you will see why in a minute. It is a. The first bit of it's not that bad, but the second part of it is very, very bad, because most of the missions from the entire, like, most of the missions up until this point have been
no.
either go to this certain place, do this certain thing, protect this object. But if you,
Schießt nicht auf eine Thermonukleare.
but when it very rarely asks us to go through and fight a bunch of enemies. And this is one of the few missions that do, and you're going to see why that is a big problem at the end of this mission. It's mainly because the enemy AI was built to be extremely dynamic for anywhere on the map, especially because they had that mission creator that was going. And because of that, the enemies are a lot of fun to fight casually because you can't really predict their movements as much. But in a speed run, you can't really predict their movements as much, so it's a lot harder to deal with them.
Oh god, no. Not this.
Oh, geez. That car
Car.
came back at you with a vengeance.
Yep. He
It wanted revenge.
No. He was like, no, dude, you're not launching me. You know how many times I've died from like getting grabbed by the Ravager there?
Oh, yeah, no,
bad
it's.
thing to happen.
I don't think I've died too much from it, but it's like it wastes a ton of time because you just get, because he pins you to the ground and makes you do the quick time event.
And the thing is, oh god, is he stuck? Where is he stuck? Oh my god, how did that car move there? That car wasn't there.
What? I just, okay, I wait, how? Yeah, what? I'm assuming, oh, you know what? It was probably the Ravager pushing it.
Yeah, it was the Ravager.
I don't know why this, the thought just came to my head now, but, are you planning on getting Graviton Blast at any point in this run?
Nope.
Okay.
By the way, because I got here super early, these enemies hadn't spawned in yet. So I could just get there safely.
Wenigstens schießen sie nicht auf uns.
Yeah. So right now we can just basically go ahead to the next objective, but no matter what, we still have to just wait for Zeke to arrive, so it's not really
I'm gonna wait a bit. I was waiting a bit just in case, because I don't like countdowns. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna get some more.
Geschafft. Mal einfach ein Zielkreuz auf die Bestie und bleibe am Abzug.
Okay, so we see the Beast is almost to Numeray. It traveled down the entire East Coast to get here.
Kümmern wir uns erstmal um die
So now I kill this dude. And I
You were trying to
usually
make
get-
sure that... Oh, you're not doing...
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that you were pulling that menu up because you were checking for ionic powers.
I
'Cause
I was checking for Alpha Explosion just in case it wasn't on, because I don't like having detonation blast in here.
Because one nasty habit this game has at points is that after certain cutscenes, and it's a very specific set of cutscenes that don't really have much consistency to them, but they just are. There's a couple of them. They will switch your ionic powers just regardless of what you had before. It'll switch it back to your default ionic vortex. And a few of those cutscenes will actually switch all of your powers back to the defaults. Don't exactly know why it happens, but the cutscene that caused it to go back to Vortex was actually the Blast Core cutscene that was 2 missions ago. We just haven't done any ionics since then. And as you can see, this is why this mission is like a real big pain, is because the enemies aren't grouped up at all, and you just have to hunt for them in this area. Oh, and we got introduced to the shotgunners. The shotgunners will run up to you, leave an ice trail behind them, run up, shoot you with a shotgun, and then run away. And they are very, very annoying.
Yep, they keep going back and forth. And also, I used to like grab an extra ionic charge for some reason, but it doesn't make any sense because after powering up Gasworks, you don't have one anymore. Because whenever you get to the last relay, Bertrand
right,
takes,
because it drains all your ionics for that bit.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Makes sense because you would be able to kill the enemies. The enemies with that. Outside of the cage.
So when I've done runs of this game, I usually use this bit to try and grab blast shards, but blast shards don't really matter that much at all. So right now we're pretty much just waiting for Zeke, and we're pushing. You push him to basically get him to the place he needs to be faster, because he has to hit certain spots for dialogue to start playing.
Bringst du mich zum Wagen?
Hey, Moment. Ich schaff dir Platz.
Moving, cool. Sometimes you can move him away from a trigger, and
Kann nicht sein.
he doesn't move, and it's very bad.
Und jetzt will noch mehr?
So as you can see,
This is 10 times harder than Kuo, by the way.
Yeah, and also this is like more. This is a little bit more of a showcase of like what can typically happen with Quo, and why that Quo push earlier in the run was so insane.
Stimmt. Wir müssen weiter.
Pushed him back and forth. Imagine that. Okay, so we're going to power up Gasworks, which has some of the best strats in the game. Pretty much skipping everything that the game tells you to do because it's slow.
And also a trick with a very, with a really funny origin.
Yep.
Sieg.
Playthroughs are like powerful sometimes for video games. I'm sure some of you that speedrun games have found that some casual players did certain like glitches or skips by mistake or by accident.
I think like didn't recently like there was a massive discovery found with Metal Gear Solid because of a streamer doing a casual playthrough.
A streamer was doing a casual playthrough and she found a big skip.
Now in this bit you're told that you need to hit crushers with the missile. You don't actually have to do that if you know where the generator is, but you won't always have the time to actually hit it. So hitting crushers will actually reset the timer that you have to hit the next object. So sometimes like we want to hit as few as possible while being able to make it to the generator. And then any crushers that we didn't hit, they'll still just despawn. Like I said, we do not have to fight a single one of those ever in this game.
There we go. That was a really good one.
Nice.
You can tell it was a really good one because when I landed, he kept going. It is very annoying when the launch ends close to water because he will keep like running into the water, which you don't want to happen.
One thing that we should probably talk about, we did kind of mention it earlier, but like this is the mission where it can actually legitimately happen and be a massive problem, is that every time you finish one of these sections, it will do a blast wave that will defeat every enemy on the screen. But sometimes enemies will just not die from it.
I mean, if you paid attention to powering up Ascension, I actually like one of them didn't die. Oh, yeah, like the militia can also do that. Usually they die, but some of these dudes they stay alive. Oh.
And it's not too much of a problem when powering up Ascension or even Floodtown. Well, in Floodtown, it's a little bit more of a problem. In this one, it's an actual problem because they can just they can keep shooting you while you're a sitting duck, essentially. And you can die while firing the missile. You have a lot of time to do it because we're playing on easy, but it's not as much time. It's not like it's
If you were
guaranteed
already
that you're going to survive.
if you were already like at half damage or something, you will die. If there's like at least 2 or 3. With 1, not really, but with 2 or 3, yeah. And usually in this third one, there's at least 1, but usually like 2 or 3 is what I get.
This is the one where it usually happens a lot because that shockwave doesn't exactly go downwards as much as it should. And if enemies are caught at the very bottom of the building.
Yeah, it's also because some enemies just jump really far away from the objective, and the blast doesn't actually get there. So that's the issue. Some of them are like really far, like right there, like where I'm aiming. Like it's just like not too good.
This is the mission where I usually like try and make sure that I try to have graviton blast, try and get graviton blast because there's RPG guy up on the roof. But like it's pretty much entirely up to runner preference with graviton blast because it just makes a certain mission like I wouldn't say easier, just like slightly different, like just with another what I would consider to be face of change because it's just. You have to kill all those enemies, and you really, I really want Graviton Blast because I don't want to deal with the enemies on the boat. I just want to say, get in the water. I don't want to deal with you.
There's 3 guys in the map right now that are alive, but they are really far away, so I don't mind it.
So we're probably going to see, he's most likely not going to die here, but you're probably going to see, you can already see that
they're shooting.
They are shooting Cole right now.
Yeah, one of them must be like near me, like close to me, like right there, like in the tower. Like he's actually on the tower, right?
All right. So once he gets to this,
on the other roof.
Once he gets to this next one, is the trick that was found. The origin of this trick is not actually a casual playthrough. It was a cutscene movie that this was found in. Once we get to it.
That's perfect.
You are making these launches look so easy.
Yeah. They're not easy at all.
So, what we're doing right here is we basically cannot shoot the enemies. So, and we have infinite regenerating health even though it doesn't look like it. Oh, you got it really fast. Nice.
Yep. If I don't get it, there's a backup that I can do, and it's very fast to do too. So
basically, Zeke comes in to save the day and shoots has to shoot the enemies while you're trapped in the cage and just trying to survive. Even though you will never die, you actually can't die in that bit. And Zeke takes a random amount of time in order to defeat the enemies. But if you can clip out of there, you can just defeat the enemies and make it be as fast as possible. Now, the way that you want to do that is that having the enemy shoot you pushes you back slightly while you're aiming. And if you're pressed right up against the wall, they can shoot you directly through to the other side of the wall. I love Bertrand. Because once he's off screen, they never expect you to see this because you're supposed to still be in the cage. And again, this was found in a cutscene movie. So the enemies get up, but they don't do anything.
They're in a different state there. You can actually kill them. And if you hit them, they give you evil karma, so it's not that good.
Yeah, because they're technically counted as civilians by the game. For some reason, they just have a flag saying, hey, we're just generic NPCs, not enemies. Because they're part of the cutscene, so yeah.
So here, like this part of the run is the launch party, right? Because you do a lot of launches every time, like everywhere. There's there's many in this mission. There's one after the mission. There's one. Well, there should be one after this mission that I'm gonna do now, but I'm probably not gonna do it because I don't remember how to.
This mission is entirely different from the last time I did a run, so I'm very excited to see. Oh wait, you used this crate? Because the old version was to do the crate next to that building across the street.
That's always been my version. I've never done anything else. I've always used that. It's the box.
The box. It's not just a box. It's the box.
It's the box. Yeah, like people like. There's one. I mean, the box is actually one in the pier, in one of the piers, but whatever. Like those boxes, it doesn't really matter that much.
So right now in this mission, we're basically trying to find safes within these warehouses, and the safe is in the same place every time. So you just go for it as fast as possible.
Wow, I got an upgrade.
Yeah,
that's so helpful.
It has blast shards in it for you. Now, this one is weird because, like, what happens is when you enter it, the ice guys seal the exits and start pumping poison into there. But even if you broke the wall already, it still won't.
You need to break 2 walls. If you break two walls, that's it. Well, one on each side. In each side.
Yeah.
Inside.
I think no. You only just need to break one. It doesn't count the one that you broke going in because
that's
you.
what I mean,
Yeah. So skipping this cutscene luckily despawns every enemy, so you have no distractions with this guy, the Titan. We luckily only have to fight him a couple times, and he's fairly consistent. And whenever he's inconsistent, it is usually in our favor, which he can accidentally, if certain conditions are met, which we're still trying to fully figure out, he can just despawn.
Yeah, he clips through the ground. It's parameter. It's square.
Also, Cole can turn into a wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing tube man here. I don't know what causes that. I've just seen it, and it's hilarious whenever it happens.
It's like in the Storm the Fort cutscene where you get the powers. Nyx can be a blob. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I don't think I have actually.
You know, like those blobs of like oil that she makes. She can become one of those.
I have seen that. During the cutscene, and she just walks around, and she is the blob of oil.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Because there is a launch after this, but I'm not gonna do it because it's too bad. It's really bad.
All right, so now it's time for you to make it's time for you to make a decision. Do you want to do it or no?
I mean, for the sake of speed, no, really, but this cutscene it would be the best one to watch. But for the sake of speed and like ending the run, because like it's late, you know. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Even if it's just like a minute, you know. Because it's not that long, right? But.
Yeah. It is. It's just a really good cutscene that it's just Zeke and Cole hanging out.
I can just let it play for a bit to see like what they do. That's it. I'll do this. They are watching a cowboy movie, by the way, and a western, and they just chill on the rooftop.
There's guys being dudes.
Yeah. After that cutscene, you get Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like this power that much. It's fine.
I don't know. For me, just like I don't know. Like I love Ice Launch already, and like that one, like it helps, and it saves the day in a couple spots in the run. But I don't really like it.
I would like this power a lot more because you can only use it while you're aiming. If while you weren't aiming, it would do R2 would do Ice Launch, but if you were aiming, it would do lightning tether. I would love the power because it would only be an upgrade. But the fact that you have to keep switching in between the two powers is very annoying in this game.
Yeah, that's like the worst thing. Like having to switch every time.
Yeah. So this is the mission that this is the mission I was talking about earlier, where I usually try and get Graviton Blast for. It is it's basically just ice guys everywhere, and you just have to kill them all.
Oh my god.
Die Eistypen haben das Schiff abgeriegelt.
Echt? Meinst du, die wussten, was wir vorhaben? Mann, ich frag mich, warum die haben zu tun, Sieg. Richtig. Sorry.
Okay, no. I'm basically trying to give you like some quiet here because I don't want to
Yeah, you can talk. I mean, you just have to kill enemies.
Yeah, these guys like to jump around all over the place, and it's like the thing is with the militia, which is like the first faction of enemies that we had to deal with, they tend to work in squads, which is good because they're all grouping up together, and then anytime you have to actually fight them. And there's very few times where you actually have to fight them in terms of the speed run. With swamp monsters, they basically have no strategy other than run directly at you, which is great because they're running directly at you. With ice guys, they do not like to be near you. They like to take Cole out from as far away as possible, and they like to spread out as much as possible to cover as much ground. So they're very annoying to deal with. But after he takes out the enemies here, the final enemy is going to be another Titan. And that will be, I think, the last Titan that we actually have to fight in the run.
Yeah.
There is one more that we used to have to fight before, or I don't know if this was just a well-known thing or I just didn't know it, but like the last Titan you actually don't need to fight at all.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm getting like the worst pattern from these guys.
This mission is alleviated slightly through RNG if you get more ionic charges, but it doesn't help that much because ionic charges, what they do is the vortex and the ice ionic are both killing a bunch of enemies in a straight line, and if they're not in that straight line, it's not going to be that helpful. And and as I said earlier, they like to spread around a lot.
These two dudes will usually always die from the vortex, unless they move while you're doing it.
So right here, there's a small area right here where you can hit the Titan, but the Titan can't hit you. But it's a very stressful every time you're here. Because like you can see there's like a little bit of a second. You don't want to immediately start spamming. You want to wait until you have that reticle on him. Because if Cole accidentally does the other hand, he will be aiming directly at the wall and blast you into the water. And that means that you have to restart this mission over from the second boat. It is a painful thing if it happens. So it's like always better to be safe than sorry in this bit here.
Hey, he's throwing rocks and now nothing else.
And also you can see that rockets are doing a lot less damage to him now that he's taken his mask off. That's not because they're doing less damage. It's because he's actually gaining back his health as it's hitting him. So it's kind of like a tug of war almost on the health bar. But you did that really, really well.
Yeah, that went really well. Really smooth. If you weren't for the other fight, that would have been such a good mission, but one of the coolest launches too. Oh no, I didn't get the good one. Well, I'll go for the backup then.
Oh no, you got Colma grabbed.
Yep. Well, backup time.
So, this next bit, the trigger to get to the next part of the mission is halfway through the building. So you can usually just enter. It tries to make you do a loop around the entire building, but you just have to be at the halfway point. So if you just enter from the rooftop, you can just basically go in and go directly to the that halfway point. And then
something really funny for this girl, it tells you to heal her, but you don't actually have to heal her. You just press R1 triangle once, and that's it. You just press it.
Actually,
hold.
Didn't know that. Oh wait, does that? Yep. Okay. Oh wait, never mind. There is a glitch in this cutscene where she can just be invisible for some reason, and it is hilarious if that happes.
Good power for the spear, and yes, they're better. Well, not all of them, but for the most part, yes. Especially Kuwa's powers. Kuwa's powers are the good ones. It's not necessarily the good karma powers. It's Kuwa's powers.
I would say the only exceptions between which is better for good or evil is our double grenade and potentially skull bolt. I think that is better, but I don't run evil too much, so does that even get picked up in evil runs? All right.
No, because isn't Skullbolt isn't it like infamous level?
No, that's Scythe Bolt. That is the infamous level. The outlaw.
Right, Scythe. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I actually don't think I get it in the run. Because you can do the same. You're playing on easy, so you can do the same that I do on current patch, which Alpha Bolt is just good.
So, if you want to know how long that cutscene goes on for, that was just skipped, the audio that's playing right now is the music for the cutscene, and all of like the instrumentation comes in the moment that the monster comes out, and that instrumentation will not be showing up for a while. I can't hear it as part of the run, but like I know that the audio's come through on the stream. So yeah, when you can hear the instruments going, that's when that cutscene would have actually ended.
Also, the game expects you to use precision shot in this mission, but I'm not gonna use it.
It doesn't actually. Yeah. I've never used it even casually.
Yeah, it expects you to do it because of the rockets that get stuck.
Oh yeah, no, the rockets that get stuck, that makes sense. I thought you meant for the mouth.
Yeah, no. I mean, like everything, the game expects you to do it with precision, but it doesn't really it doesn't. You don't have to use precision bolt. No, not even for the rockets. It's actually better to use Alpha Bolt.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like precision is good, but you have to spend time lining it up when you can just you can basically just carpet fire across like an area.
You can just spam and like maybe you don't hit the missile, but sometimes you hit like some of it, and then like the explosion, the little explosion of the Alpha Bolt actually hits the thing, which very good to be fair. He can't. No. He can drain the car battery infinitely. The car never stops.
Coming up is actually another one of those cutscenes that will swap all of your powers back to the defaults of like your Alpha Bolt, Alpha Blast, Alpha Grenade, everything.
Also very funny. It's also very funny because there's two cutscenes. It's not only one cutscene.
So after you skip the first cutscene, when you're playing the game casually, it just has two cutscenes flow together like kind of seamlessly that you don't even realize there's two cutscenes. But when you skip the first one, it stops for a second before it loads it up, and Cole's just standing there in the middle of the open.
How many pukes are we gonna get? The best one is one puke. One puke in the whole thing, by the way. I mean, like, he just pukes once here, and he never pukes again. That's one. Will we get a second one now?
Also, I think ice powers do extra damage against the swamp enemies, if I'm not mistaken. But it's like it's very light. I could be wrong on that, actually. But either way, throwing grenades is just a lot faster and a little bit more precise than rockets, even when you're climbing on stuff.
I mean,
see, he's just standing there.
Why I like using the grenades is because the explosion, like the blast, is actually better.
Yeah, I only really use rockets during this fight for the chest, because like the chest, just because like it has a little bit of a bigger.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I also use the rockets for the chest. Because I find that getting the one cycle, even though it's not consistent, it is more consistent using the rockets than it is using the grenades. So. Everyone is on the right?
So,
that was instant.
Yeah.
That was instant.
No, I can never get it to be instant. Like, cause like you always, you know where it's gonna be, but like aligning it up beforehand is like a lot easier said than done, because like you will get it like maybe like a quarter to half a second after it gets stuck, but getting it right as it's stuck is like stupidly difficult because there's nothing that really, like, there's no real visual cue other than like just knowing the general area for it.
Yeah, I'm saying something about FOB. Like Festival of Blood it is a DLC, but it isn't a DLC for the game. It is downloadable content, but not for this game. It is a standalone game. Unlike other DLC for games, like it is DLC because you download it. That's pretty much the whole thing. But it's not DLC like for a game, like specifically. It is just DLC that they got from a game. Like, they made a game entirely from this game.
I want to see more stuff, more games like that, because like it feels like what was it? I think Far Cry did it a couple times as well, like where they just said, "Hey, we have this game and this map and these mechanics we've built. Can we just, if we already have it and our game out, can we just make something fun out of it?" Like they did, like because Infamous and like Far Cry are the only games that I know of that have done that.
Okay, I got a puke, so that's the third one. The best pattern that I've ever got was one puke in the first phase and then no more pukes. So he didn't puke once in here.
He really likes to use that breath attack during this fight.
Yep. Okay, that's the chest. That might be it.
I was trying to get a second pair of eyes to, like, because I'm on a slight delay, so I was trying to get a second pair of eyes to know if you got the one cycle or not. I cannot tell. I cannot tell. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes down.
So that one cycle, it seems like it isn't like much, but it saves quite a bit of time. And then, like, if you don't get any of the pukes, as I call them, the breath attack, you save a whole lot of time. My gold is so good in the fight.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need to probably like get my headphones like.
I am going
because I need to hear the TV and hear shit.
We will explain this trick after it's done, but this is the hardest and most precise trick of the run, and I'm gonna give complete silence for it.
I'm gonna try twice, by the way. So just in case I fail it, but.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say the name of it is chase skip because there's a chase afterwards that we skip. So I'm just gonna be quiet for this.
Yeah. It is a precise trick, precise setup.
Sieg, du bist der King.
Du bist der King. Okay. This is bad. Okay. I didn't get it.
Did you get it?
No.
Did you get it or
because
no?
He got stuck. He got stuck on the tower. I couldn't even try.
So what it's supposed to happen right there is that that enemy is basically you're gonna have to chase him around the entire map. He has infinite regenerating health, so you can't kill him even with an insta-kill attack. The only time he's vulnerable is if you catch him mid-cutscene and out-of-bounds him by getting him into the water. And then it skips the entire chase phase of the fight. But it's incredibly difficult to do, and it's entirely based on an audio cue.
Again. I'm gonna try once more.
Okay.
Like, I can get it. I mean, the run's going too well. I don't care.
It's a very good problem to be having.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm not like setting it up correctly. I'm not looking at the correct spot.
Mann, das habe ich von hier aus gesehen.
Every time I have to like sew it off, it's so bad. Oh my god, what the hell?
Oh, what? Yeah, I just saw that. So in this mission, you also have infinite lightning and infinite ionic, just by charging up, because it's during a storm and you can just recharge anywhere.
Oh no, not this, dude. Don't do this to me. Oh my god, what's he doing with the tower there? Don't make a tower here, dude. I don't think I got it. That was a really weird animation right there.
Oh, you picked him up. Hold on.
I did.
You got it?
Yeah, cool. Great.
Oh my god, nice! Nice!
There you go.
That is... So you could see by the fact that it took multiple tries, that is not an easy trick. It is insanely precise because you need to get it at the exact time that he's running by, and you need to get it... Oh my god, you launched in the wrong direction. You need to get it at the exact time and the exact position to get him into the water, because if he gets caught on an ice tower, if he gets caught on any bit of level geometry, will not work. And you will have to do that 2-minute chase. It is the most precise trick in the entire game.
Ist das Internet nicht fantastisch?
Ja, das ist es.
What is the like discussion about God of War games on the PS3? I mean, you know, the fastest version, if anyone wants to know for that, like God of War 1, the fastest is Japanese downloaded on PS3. God of War 2 is any downloaded version, and then God of War 3 is PS4. And then, like, the PSP games, it's downloaded PS3 version.
So, for the end of this mission, you have to kill a bunch of ice guys who are, like, defending a blast core, which is the final blast core that we need for the entire game. And you only need to kill a certain number of enemies. You don't actually need to defeat the giant big guy. Because he just counts as one enemy. So if you can lure him away from the blast core to the point where you really want to lure him away, because if he stays right where he is, he's basically going to defend that blast core with his life. So you want to kind of lure him away as best you can and just defeat as many enemies as possible. And once you reach a certain target, you can just walk up to it and pick it up. And you want to, and this is just a reminder, just make sure you end this mission with an ionic charge.
Oh my god, this is so...
Oh,
no.
no.
Do not even dare doing this,
That shotgunner was very nice to you right there.
Okay, come here. I'm gonna take it safe. Because I already, like, lost a lot of time in this mission, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah. So I just lure him away.
Yeah, because like the big problem is the attack where he brings up all of his ice shards around him and basically makes a small shield, because that will blast you away from getting the blast core. And the reason why we need to end the mission with an ionic charge is because this next mission we're going to be getting our final power of the game, and that final power is another ionic power. And the enemies that spawn, if you don't do that, if you don't already have a charge, are very, very far away.
Yep. The speedrun for the God of War PS4, PS5, PC game is less than 4 hours on NG Plus on easy. It is more than 4 hours, 4.5 or so on very hard mode, glitchless. And then like there's Valkyrie percent, there's many categories, but the main ones are any percent standard and glitchless very hard, and they're both like for our range.
Wer nicht wagt,
Der nicht gewinnt.
Yeah, this ionic power that we get now, the storm, is not that useful for the run because you get it at the end, but it is useful for completing the whole like secondary mission stuff. Because the titans, for example, they die super fast on those.
Because a lot of side missions are in this game are basically, here's a powerful enemy, deal with it.
Yeah, like the titans, you just like take the mask off and then use the storm, and they just die instantly. Or the other way around, you use it for the weak point first.
Someone in the chat just said hitless infamous would be hard. I think that would be actually impossible to do hitless infamous.
Hitless infamous would be hard. At least infamous 1, this game too, it would be hard. It wouldn't just be hard, it would be impossible.
They expect you to. They give you a lot of healing options because they expect you to get hit a lot.
Yeah.
Ich bin bereit für den SFI.
There's enemies everywhere. Oh. Okay, so here I need to like be sure that he is actually there, and then like I despawn him by coming here.
I usually just immediately make a beeline for the water and just take as fast death as possible to despawn him. But oh geez, okay. That
Yeah, he despawns in like no time. If you go to that roof, you need to make sure like you actually like look at him though before the mission complete thing is off the wall of the screen.
Yeah, because the start of the next mission's right here, and if Zeke
by
is
the
still
way,
there,
the infamous flying kettle. I almost forgot about it.
the anti-gravity kettle.
Very funny. Very funny object.
I have a friend who's watching that I absolutely do. I want him to play the game at some point, and I don't want him to be spoiled. So it's a very good thing that we're playing in a different language.
Yeah. Deathless is like very, very possible. It's actually very easy to do on easy.
Yeah, the only thing
it's in the cutscene, by the way. The kettle, it's in the cutscene. You can actually see it there. It's fine in the cutscene. Behind goal. Very funny.
I was going to say something. I completely forgot what it was. But
It happens.
So we're in the final mission right now, and this final mission is on the evil side is a lot longer.
And it is actually like a really short mission. It's just the cutscenes take too long.
Yeah, and this is like one of the only starting with in a few minutes, all the cutscenes from that point onward are going to be skippable for the final mission. I'm going to be honest, we can say that the reason why good is way more popular than evil is because, the powers are better, the run's more fun, it's faster. But really, I think the real reason is nobody wants to hit time and celebrate a PB with what you have to do at the very end of the evil mission.
Wow, I killed C. I mean, come on. I hate doing the evil couple mission.
It's so heartbreaking every single time.
It's so bad.
And it's like, it's impossible, like, because it's so depressing that it's impossible to just, because it's slow. It forces you to be slow and take your time, because it locks away all power, except for it's a quick time event, but it's very slow, and you have to, like, just watch it happen, and then it's like, sweet, got a PB, yeah! It's like, just this awful stuff is happening on screen.
Dude, I killed Zeke faster this time. Let's go.
Let's go!
It only took me like a minute less to kill Zeke. Like, nah, dude. I can't accept that. Half as long, twice as pride. Yep.
I have to try. I know. I have that it's like the most vivid memory going through that ending for the first time. Like I had to just like, I just had to like lie out on a couch and just wait and like just like process my thoughts for like the entire rest of the day after that.
Denk mal daran.
Half as long. That's what. No, that's not what she said. What? Half as long?
Nicht zu glauben, dass Kur die Nerven verliert.
Tomain, you're telling me I might prefer Evil Karma and Infamous 2?
Also, throughout the whole game, like the game's logic is right is good, left is bad. In this decision, it's the opposite. Nix is on the left, and she's the good karma choice.
I do love how in this final mission, it's like they swap roles. Like, that is a really cool thing, honestly.
Yep. I mean, to be fair, like, I don't think there's a trait in Seek in this game that you can hate. This, like, Seek in this game is so good. The problem is, it doesn't make sense with the writing in 1, but...
No, I think it makes more sense. Okay, I know that it is going to be basically me putting on my big glasses and showing how much of an Infamous nerd I am, but in the comics...
Yeah, the comics, yeah, I haven't actually read the comics.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't either. I just know what happens in them.
I don't know what happens in them. That's my thing.
They basically... Cole has literally no one else. He only goes to Zeke despite hating him because he has nobody else to go to.
I could have
That is incredible, that launch.
I could have gone all the way to the boat, but I didn't want to fall. But you can actually, like, with that one you're actually, like, I was lined up perfectly for the boat, but I didn't want to take my chance to die. But it's a really cool one, though, to show off.
Outside of the one that just wanted to launch you off in the complete wrong direction, all of these, what happened to his arm? Did it just go away for a second?
Yep, his arms are a bit glitchy, and yeah. And I can make him fall, maybe. Let's go.
You're sending him to his grave about 5 minutes too early.
He didn't fall. He can fall to the water. By the way, he's alive when he falls.
Oh.
Yeah, he keeps talking to you. You can't actually hear him, but you see the dialogue happen. It's very funny when it happens. I always try to do it in runs, but actually, oh my god, getting God on things when you're using ice launch is so bad because you lose all of the momentum. Thankfully,
there's a lot of talk in the chat right now about the comics. Right now, apparently. I'm like, yes, I'm such a nerd, but I haven't actually read the comics. I have them all. I just haven't read them.
So this is how you prevent the lag.
That's how you prevent. Okay, so if you go on all the boats and go back into the city, the game has to load up for a minute, and then there's like about a second where the game completely freezes, and it's very stressful every single time. But right there, apparently, you're good. You don't have to deal with that lag anymore. So right now, we're going to be having infinite lightning during this part of the mission. So, again, the tech that we talked about right at the very beginning of this run was the getting rid of the rocket animation by climbing on something. So he's going to be climbing and just basically spamming rockets. And we're going to hopefully... Because the Beast is taking damage right now. And he will hopefully go down before he actually gets to the point where he can attack us.
He went down. Cool. Alright, I didn't have ice launch. Go down, dumbass. Cool.
What was just a reskinned Ice Heavy with, like, more health?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you stun lock her just by keeping meleeing her? Oh, jeez. I usually just get the one melee on her and then just try and shoot her while she's on the ground. I haven't tried to stun lock her while meleeing her.
I usually don't do melee if she falls to the ground, but if she doesn't...
Yeah, in that situation, it was definitely the better option to do that. One power that actually works really well in this fight, but we don't actually get it because it's exclusive to hero rank, is Shatter Blast. That rips through his health bar like ridiculously fast.
There we go. So get ready on time because it's happening soon. By the way, it's after this bit. All of the launches at the end went really well. Very happy about that. Okay, so time.
That is a really, really good time. What's your PB again?
Wow, that's only 6 minutes off.
Yeah,
my PB is at 2:28:13.
that is you did really, really well during this run.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude. That's an amazing run. Like almost 7 minutes off. Like it's really good. And with 3 attempts in chase game.
I'm a little bit nervous because I have to now follow that run up. Oh man, well, that was good.
I had a 250 estimate. Wow, that's yeah, cool.